The OGT network was with Owan Conscience today as they went about meeting with several communities in the Owan environment, discussing their need to become more conscious about who and what they wanted leadership to look like in the Onwa constituents this period. As the name implies, Onwa Conscience have decided to continue to go around Onwa communities to remind the Onwa people of how important it is for them to get involved in picking the leaders that will lead them this time around. Our correspondent Bosede Ahidime was in Arelu Palace this morning at Ewebe as they flagged off their first meeting. They were all around Onwa today. Continue to follow the OGT network as we will show you what Onwa Conscience is doing to encourage our people to participate in choosing their own leaders.
As we are here at the Arelu Palace, we are gathered, the Owan Conscience are gathered here today to discuss on the issue of developing Owan as a nation. Number one, the community awareness still within the Owan integration, enlightening the people about political participation, awareness of importance of registration exercise, and awareness of importance of coming out to vote during voting exercise. With me here is Mr.
Yemori Sule,
Alright.
Comrade Yemori Sule.
Alright,
As you have just said, our conscience have a program for our people, for our nation, to enlighten our people the need to do the following she has just enumerated.
So thank you very much, sir. So my people, we've heard all. So we are still expecting. We wish you sit back and watch on how the discussion goes. I am Bosede Akidime, reporting from OGT Network.
As tradition goes, prayer was made.
Ọ̀pá ìmáa méjì ta ìbá ìmáa méjì ta kàkọ́ yoyoyo ebi àwọn ọ̀tọ̀ bí okun mu ọ̀nà kẹrin ọ̀ríwò bọ̀wẹ̀. Era no mú ìtẹ̀kẹ̀ kàkọ́ yoyoyo yọ̀lò ọ̀rá náà fún rẹ̀ ní ìfún mamá rẹ̀ mẹ́mẹ́gbẹ̀. Òde bó pàwọ̀rẹ̀ kó mi àmì pàwọ̀rẹ̀ kó sẹ̀ka pàwọ̀rẹ̀ kó àìhùrú ègbè pàwọ̀rẹ̀ era no mú ìtẹ̀kẹ̀. Era ọ̀dọ́ kan ẹ̀nà bí ẹni kẹrin ìmáa ìrìwò bọ̀wẹ̀ èyí mi Jésù Kristi ọ̀nà sí mu.
Mr. Nathaniel Osimede explained why they were gathered today.
So, Mama by my Aboni Nigeria, so my only community Mutopare no be introduce Abona Narima quick because my rush for time. My Pamare Maluga visit. My no will be for the community. Just mention the major representatives here so that we will know them.
As we can see, several people were in attendance. Our elders and our chiefs were there to listen to Onwa Conscience and their reason for gathering us today.
I want to say Owan Conscience arose and is born as a child of necessity. But it is necessary for the Owan people to come together as a collective group and be able to speak in one voice. For too long, we have watched our collective interests take a back seat. That is, the Owan people have watched their collective interests take a back seat. We also allow divisions and disunity to weaken our political strength. We have also failed fully to harness our voting power and demographic advantage. We have watched our opportunity slip away due to lack of coordination. We have organized several impactful programs and initiatives. Organized Onwa Summit, an event which brought together the entire Onwa together for unity and progress. The program was held at Afuzi in March 2024. Other programs organized by the body include the following. Onwa Security Summit held in Sabogida Ora. We all are aware of that, but it was held here in Sabogida Ora at Arases Hotel, and it was chaired by our late brother, the former IGP, Dr. Solomon Arase. May he so rest in peace. We also had to the Owan political dialogue when it was time for during the last elections. We had to call to all the governorship aspirants that were aspiring to the position of governor in this state. We invited them for us to have an interaction, for them to also let us know what do they have in stock for the people of Owan. And there too, we also presented what we call the Charter of Demand on behalf of the Owan people to the governorship aspirant. That was held in July 2024. We also convoked to a meeting of the traditional rulers, which was held in Afuze in September 2024. The aim then was to bring together traditional rulers in Owan. And at that meeting, at that session, Owan Conscience did opine that it was necessary that Owan traditional rulers and chiefs should form themselves into a formidable team, into a formidable forum called the Owan Forum of Traditional Rulers, Chiefs, and Village Heads. And the broad aim of it was to bring together our traditional rulers for them to be able to resolve petty traditional disputes between various communities. And we do expect that forum is already put in place. To have, the last time we had here, we had organized a quiz competition and debate competition for all secondary schools, both public and private, in Owan land. It was held here the climax was at Holy Trinity Grammar School here in Sabogida, Ora. We have had two opportunities of having press conferences. We also had one which involved not just only Owan citizens, but also people from Akoko Edo. That's a joint press conference that brought together the interest of the Owan people and tried to also highlight our concerns. Then very recently, we had the traditional chiefs here present. Let me start by the last question in trying to profile some answers. Yes, that Owan West, Yuleha, Maimo, Olore Masha. Owan East, Imai, Yegbomo, Olore Masha. That Ora, myself, Olore Masha. Talk I more, but myself more Ibona. And it's our prayer that one day these issues will be resolved. So our conscience, we have not really rested in that to ensure that there's peace and there's due process in the emergence of the proper person to actually take their place in terms of traditional institutions. That is why I said last year we tried to bring together the traditional rulers in Owan West and Owan East to form together what we call the Forum of Traditional Rulers, Chiefs, and Village Heads. And I think the chairman of that body is the ruler of Uoka, who is the most senior traditional chief in Owan. I think we went for that to also have some sessions. Some sessions with the traditional chiefs at the council hall at Afuze, where we try to look at these various issues as to issues of traditions or traditional and people merging into traditional schools and associations. Myself, I'm a lawyer, that is by training, but want to say that there are customary laws and traditions that ban the emergence of these traditional institutions. I would say too that we must always try as a people to play by the rules. And I've said, like the other yesterday when some questions were posed to me at Uleha in Uzeba regarding the issue of traditional things. Situations where you have one community and the other community fighting over a piece of land. It's not as if they do not know where the boundary had been. It's our own capacity and our own, what they call it, courage to be able to speak truth to what is right. So ours is to continue to urge our people to abide by this, and we'll continue to work to ensure that these traditional institutions, the Oman traditional council that we are saying, will honestly look into these issues as much as possible, resolve some of them out of court. Because these people, the judges themselves, they are also human beings like us. I was privileged to have been the first local government chairman. I built that local government council. And we also go further. There was a time we had yes, it was Uhomora and Ozala having issues. At the time, we also had a situation where even and Abiosi having issues as regards the water board that is there. One way or the other, this thing were resolved. That this issue of traditional thing, that we should be deliberate about it to ensure that it is resolved. I spoke with somebody this morning, we were just interacting. I said we had a situation, I can remember it was in Esako West those days, where we had somebody that was supposed to be the traditional ruler. He was a legal practitioner, but he was in the UK and came back to Nigeria. He was supposed to be saying, I will not give it to my junior. I was voted for, not because I had all the money, but people looked at your pedigree, looked at your background, looked at your family connection, and they voted for you. I spent less than 2 years as council chairman here. I believe that what I did for Owan, those people who spent 8 years didn't achieve it. And that is the truth, because we are focused and we believe that government ought to be for the people. Where are we today? We cannot sell our rights. We cannot continue, because if they give us 5,000 today, if we do not get it, we will be hungry forever. If you eat that 5,000, will you not finish?
Several questions and answers were made during this occasion. We want to thank Owan Conscience for trying to wake up the conscience of the Owan people again, to remember, as they say, government is of the people, by the people. And if we have to have our voice heard, we have to be the ones to make the noise. They say a closed mouth does not get fed. It's time for the Owan people to open their mouth and speak out and choose rightfully so, because at the end of the day, we'll also be the ones to suffer whatever choices we have made. The OGT network will continue to follow Owan Conscience to every community that they go to, and we will try and see how we can cover these programs so that people home and abroad that were not able to attend physically will be able to attend and listen to all these deliberations that we, the Owan people, must have. We must have this deliberation. Ibi Owan, continue to listen and be blessed.
Owan Conscience, I have to thank you for the opportunity to enlighten the people of Owan as a nation for now, because it is not really easy for a group of men and women to come together to see to the plight and development of their people. My own take here is that we have talked of integration and togetherness. I want to say here, before this can happen, it's a suggestion. We must have what is called a background history linking the various parts of Owan villages. If we don't have the history that links us, to stand as one will stand difficult. Two, we should have a unilateral language. We have Owan per se. We have Ora, we have Yebe, we have other, but we should have a universal one that everybody can understand at once. You go to the Igbo land, the Igbo people speak different language, but you have a special one that if they speak, all of them will understand. So I'm agitating that that kind of a thing should come, so that we will know the history of ourselves, how linked we are to each other, how we are brothers and sisters. That will help us to stand in unity to fight our cause. Then my question now is that we have talked about voting and election and registration. Don't you think that the Owan person have not been properly educated? What we are enjoying today, it is the education that we receive from late Professor Agusali. If not, we were bunkajo all this time. I still feel that the education in one way is not enough. We should make sure that our children are more educated, because an educated person cannot be cheated. They will know their right. It is those who are not educated that you can give 50,000 or give 20 naira to go and talk for another person. But if you know your right because of your education, nobody can change your conscience. But if not, you still discover that we are still talking about one thing over and over. Now my question is, how do we now change the narrative today that no, because of the hunger in town, somebody is offering you 10,000 naira to vote. If you refuse it, you will go hungry for the next 1 week. What is the situation? How do we solve this situation?
I want to ask this question. Our conscience. The question is, how do you intend to project the candidate that we all rely upon for the next agenda? You have said in your address that it is not a political rally. I tell you, if I'm not making mistake, it's also involved in political something. So because of that, I am saying the our conscience should work harder to project the person that you are going to bring for all I want to support. Because if there is any dispute in character or whatever, then we scatter a vote for other people. So please do work on that so that all of us will love and be with the person you are going to bring. I had my question there.
Yes, I want to stress on the importance of politics, as we are saying. I want to let this house know that the politics in Nigeria is quite bad. It is not as the way we copy it from the Americans, where you see a political head of a political party cross-carpeting at will. When it is not good for you, you go to the other party, you go to the other next party. So money, you cannot rule out money. If the head looks for money like that, what of myself here, who will be looking for about 20 or 10,000 naira to eat for a day? So the system is generally bad. We should not. I don't think we will be able to ameliorate all the systems except from the top. If Tinubu look at Obi, all of them switching from one party to the others. So I don't think the system is quite bad. We are very corrupt, a very corrupt nation. Thank you very much.
Stanley Oratoka. They say charity begins at home. When there is no unity in the home, it will affect the whole system. People will agree with me that the three populous communities in Owan, East and West do not have traditional rulers. Emma has no traditional ruler. Uleha has no traditional ruler. Ora has no traditional ruler. How can we forge to forge unity when we are at home not united? So our conscience, you have a duty to please help in enlightening or educating our community that they should put down their sword and let the rightful owner take his place as the traditional ruler of this community. Thank you.
Questions for thoughts. Iwe, which way are we going? Continue with Owan conscience as we continue to show their good work in the Owan community.